everyone to Golden Grove, and specifically OurLife Now and Forever. So I've been wanting to play this demo for a while now, but then OBS wasn't working, and then there was an update. Just a lot of stuff happened, and I'm here now. So, yay! Today we are playing as Andrew Peterson, or Andy as he likes to be called. He's a tall, ambidextrous boy. Honestly, I love him. He looks so cute. But more importantly, I love this whole, I'm a fall baby too. So like, if there's ever a birthday option, I'm gonna be very psyched for that. It looked like fall here in Golden Grove. More than any place you'd ever seen before. It could be in one of your old picture books to show little kids what autumn was supposed to be. There weren't any green trees or bushes, but they weren't just bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal. All that had changed were their colors. Red, orange, yellow, brown. Even the blue of the sky high above your head seemed different than it did in summer. It wasn't as bright either, as though it had gotten tired of sparkling by this late in the year, or like it was even further away from you now that you were here in this place. The plants in the sky didn't get this way where you lived. Well, where you used to live. Your thoughts continued to jump around while you stood there in the big circle of the street at the end of the road. It was a weird path to you. Couldn't take you ahead or to the sides or anywhere else like most streets you'd gone down. This one only came right down where those big houses. Oh, with those big houses. Can you tell I can't read? The view in front of you was something you'd only ever seen in photos before from stapled together papers that advertised the middle house for being for sale. It had been a picture book to you until this day. Now you knew that it felt like fall here too because it was cold outside. Chilly enough that you sometimes held your eyes closed for a few seconds longer than usual to try keeping your eyeballs from feeling like they were going to freeze inside your head. This is a real place, the icy air surrounding you said, and you were really in it, and it was where you were going to stay. That was new. Your ma and you had lived in the apartments before, and never for very long each time. That was until she'd gotten a big job at this not-so-big town and bought a big house. You wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now in that moment, you couldn't imagine being there forever. But that's just the way it was. The old town house at the very end of the long, round road was now your house, standing tall with all the others by its sides. Those buildings were homes too, and with their own people living inside. And those people in those ancient homes were going to be your neighbors. Ooh. You were super excited about everything happening. Yes, I'm playing like a 10-year-old little boy. So, you were super excited. Nothing was going to be boring anymore. And it was going to be even better because you'd be doing this with your ma. You'd have so much fun together. Andrew, come on over and take a look, please. I added the please, but whatever. Oh, that was your ma's voice. You hadn't noticed she'd gotten so far. You wasted no time catching up in order to reunite with her. Off the cul-de-sac road and cutting across the lines of grass and sidewalk, he reached the picket fence Ma had called from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses in front of yours, was a tiny gray stoned walkway that led up a couple of steps, and those led to the door. Okay, I just had to check the music volume, it's okay. You walked along the private path, making sure each foot landed squarely on a rock and not on the dirt cracks in between until you arrived at the end of the line. That is such a child thing to do. I did that. That's because I was... whatever. When you hopped up the tiny stairs to stand beside your ma. Oh, then. And there your ma was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. She must have been moving around before because the shiny opal earrings she had on were twisting from side to side a little bit. You knew that were real opal stones because she told you before, when she first got them. She also told you a long time ago that her normal name, not Ma, was Opal. It's a really pretty name. Her clothes were the colors of a cloudy, rainy day. Oh, a cloudy day after rain that had already come and gone. The kind of day that could be cold and bad or really relaxing and comfy. It just depended. You wondered which way she looked at it from. You didn't know. The rest of her, though, was so much more bold, especially the matching purpley cranberryness of both her hair and eyes. Cranberryness isn't a word, but oh well. There weren't a lot of things out in this world with that color that could feel gloomy. You had those cranberry eyes too. People would point out how you were a match with your ma a lot. Aw, that seemed pretty cool. Part of your ma ended up in you. Yeah, I just used like the cranberry preset they had for color for his eyes. And yeah, that's really cool. Ma smiled at you. It made you feel as soft and warm on the inside as your ma was on the outside. So, what do you think? It's a pretty place, huh? I'm gonna need time to flesh out her voice. Ooh, yes. Best little boy answer ever. You're calling on the 10-year-old little boy energy that Yanshi can muster. I'm gonna have my own room, right? Yeah, that sounds about right. You will, my dear. Her mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but her eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she wasn't really smiling, or it was some other kind of smile. She put a hand on one of the white painted pole things that kept the porch from falling down. Her fingers moved along it. Won't be too much longer. The real estate agent should be here and to hand over the keys in a couple of hours or so. Then it'll be official. We'll be the newest residents of Golden Grove. You shifted your weight from one foot to the other. This was a big deal to your ma. Her whole life was changing too. You hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. You didn't want your ma to be sad. He's just such a considerate little boy. Oh my gosh. Well, you've seen the yard and the outside. You don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around the rest of the neighborhood? She bent down, placing her hands on her knees in order to speak directly to you on the same level. I thought I put my... Yeah, I'm tall. Why is she bending down so much? I don't know. It's a safe town, especially in this area. You'll be able to play freely out here. Okay. Very sorry. I had to sneeze and I did not want to do that, like, on video. Okay. You'll be able to play freely out here. You perked right up at this suggestion. Ma went back to her normal way of standing, with her head up high and arms folded. That's the spirit. Now enjoy yourself. Just don't stray into any other streets today. Okay. I won't, I promise. Yeah, that's definitely his voice. I won't, I promise. Thank you. I trust you, Andy. With that, you flipped around, bounded down the steps, and went back on towards the sidewalk, ready to explore. Oh, I love this. This is such a cozy game. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. The smell of the grass and rain-softened ground, crisp, though somehow also kind of musty, hung in the air, bringing the whole new year of school with it. Ugh, school. You're going to be a 5th grader. It'd be completely different from being just a 4th grader, and not just because you'd be attending a new school. You'd be in the highest grade of the place. Maybe that was why your mom was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. It felt good knowing that there was more and more out there that you'd be able to explore on your own. Then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely stronger than the wind, but it was definitely something, and it was completely out of nowhere. All of these are amazing. You jumped straight in the air out of shock. It was pure instinct. I mean, you hadn't even realized it until you were back on the ground. Huh. Oh no, I'm on the ground again, I jumped. Oh. Rapidly, you ping-ponged your gaze from left to right, trying to get a glimpse of the poking perpetrator. No one was there. The neighborhood was empty, except for you and, your mom in the house, but oh well. That you would have settled on it being a mystery forever if you hadn't noticed there was a thing left behind from the encounter. A thing? Sitting there in between the muddy brown blades of grass was something new. Ooh, what was it? Let me just say, these pictures are amazing. A paper airplane? Huh. Who would throw this at a stranger? And why would they disappear after doing it? As you considered these questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, the side of the street where the tap had come from. Whoever sent this to you have had to go that way. Had to have gone that way. My gosh, I cannot read. That's not a good sign. You crouched down to grab it, while keeping a lookout to make sure nothing else snuck up on you. The paper didn't feel like the same crinkly, crackly way that most paper did. It was thicker, somehow. Almost like a piece of cloth. It was cottony. That wasn't the only part that stuck out. The page was a tan color with dark brown lines. Not white and blue or black or white and or whatever, or something regular. Can you tell I can't read? More questions to add to the confusion. Where would paper like that have come from? I'm turning on a lamp, I can't read. You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the underside. The paper had scribbles, or maybe even words on it. That was enough of a sign to undo the shape that somebody had put together. You pulled the flaps of the plane and flattened it out between your palms as best as you could. It was true. The paper airplane had a message on it. Well, maybe, you thought. There were some words on it, but not a lot, and they were on different lines from each other. You read over each tiny part from top to bottom. Hello, go out, hide out. And then in the bottom corner was Andrew Peterson? Your name! It had been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one meant to get that plane. You scrunched up your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned it into a paper airplane and threw it at another person, and the message they sent was that? It was a mystery worth solving, yes. Maybe the words were a code that you had to break. You were going to get to the bottom of this. You're a regular Sherlock Holmes, Andy. Someone, or something, had to have sent this to you, and you weren't going to stop until you found out who and why. Past the parts where the light shone through the clouds, and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. This half circle of houses was out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended, and it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street with homes or stores or whatever, there was a car road behind you, and a bunch of trees and plain ground in front. A car road. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the way to town, eventually, but you thought that would be straying too far, like your ma had warned you against. That was okay. I mean, you had other options. Ooh, sound effects. Bending in between the dark trunks and bright leaves were two lines stamped out through the grass. They were in opposite directions. It was a crossroads. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further right, on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the tree, a walking path for people who lived there. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods, in your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. You knew exactly which one you wanted. Oh yes, this boy is just flowing with confidence. There was a path here that was definitely more worth trying than the other, You were sure of it. Something on the inside just told you so. Went on the walking path on the left. And your quest continued. Ooh, mysterious. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wild woods. Nothing else surrounded you any longer. I love how, like, this looks like a painting. I mean, it's supposed to, but look at this. This is amazing. Nature spread across the land with narrow dirt line and fence being the only sign anyone had ever walked this point before you. People were only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rustled against each other in thick clumps, with each tree's branches flowing into the others nearby. It was enough to keep the sky and sun out almost completely, but the leaves burned bright with the light basking over them from above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around up higher into the mountainside, farther than you could see. Oh, there's a mountain. You're amazed. Ooh, this is all... Your curiosity was piqued. Yes, that is it. With your wide, wondrous gaze thrown every which way, you let yourself flow deeper into the thicket. The quiet bubble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped from a sudden, unnatural clatter. You stopped. There was a whooshing, thumping, and stirring up of leaves, like someone had crushed into them. You know that for sure that this wasn't the wind. It had to have been an animal or a person. And it came from right over there. Ooh. You wandered through the bushes to find the source of the sound. You pulled up your socks and began to make your way off the path and through the overgrowth. It was harder to keep your footing on the slanted, untrimmed ground. When you reached the really tree-cluttered spot, you gasped at the branches and pushed them aside. Oh, it was grasped. Sorry. You grasped at the branches and pushed them aside in order to open enough space for you to get past. You moved them the same way you'd open a set of curtains, but it was a lot harder to do. The tiniest branches couldn't take the bend and snapped from the pressure. You could feel the splintery ends of the plank scratch a little on your face and clothes. It wasn't as smooth of an entrance as you had hoped it would be. On the other side of the tree line was still the woods, but kind of an empty part. There was a lot of open ground with no trees or bushes growing, and a ton of leaves that were gathered into piles. Past that clearing, the trees were back, and even more closely pressed together than they were by the path. It was mysterious. There was nowhere easy to go, and nothing seemed out of place to you until... Oh my gosh. It's a human poodle. Oh, she's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait. Sorry. I need a voice for her. Like, if Isabelle from Animal Crossing was a human. Hello. Hello. No. Hello. Yes, that's perfect. There was a shout, and a new whirlwind of leaves rushed through the air. From underneath one pile of leaves was a kid. Oh my gosh. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. That was the prettiest person you had ever seen. Yeah, let's go with that, Andy. You stared at them, and they looked right back at you as everything they'd thrown into the air drifted gently back down. Were you waiting for me? Yay! Yeah, and you came. Woohoo! Oh. Thanks, you said earnestly. That got the stranger giggling. Wait here. The jumping jack kid hopped again, but this time it was to get off the ground. They dashed the to the opposite edge of the open space, leaving leaves scattered behind them, dropping out of their clothes and being kicked up by their steps. They were already wondering what was going to happen next. From behind one of the tall, crooked trees, the kid began throwing sticks and other flat plant pieces around. They were uncovering a hidden treasure. A big brown bag. Ooh. Does it have sandwiches in it? Oh no, that was buckle noises. It's not paper. They had to use both hands to lift the pouch and get it over their head. The thick strap pulled tight under the strain of the weight attached to it. The line of their mouth looked just as straightened. Oh. The stranger huffed when they released the bag from their fingers, letting it rest completely across their shoulder. You heard stuff bumping around inside from your position way over here. It was already a full pack. But it didn't slow the kid down. They ran back at full speed to meet you where you were. When they were in front of your face, they gave a wave and asked a question.
Hi, are you a girl too?
No?
Oh, okay. Boys and stuff are just as good. So, what's the right answer?
I'm a boy.
And then
It was like all the clouds in the sky and her head, you guessed, had cleared away.
alright.
Then all of a sudden, the leafy girl seemed to remember to introduce herself the way most people do.
Hi, I'm Tamarack.
Ooh, like the trees. Tamarack? What does that mean?
A tamarack is a kind of tree. I like it a lot. And what's your name?
I'm Andrew.
Oh, wow. Hi, Andrew.
She greeted you with a wave of her hand, as sweetly as if you'd always known each other, and she'd done it 100 times. Oh my gosh, human Isabella's the best.
Do you like it? Your name?
I like my nickname more. People should call me Andy. Only my ma uses my real name.
Ooh, alright. So, why are you here? Where did you come from, and are you visiting?
She piled on one question after another, letting them bubble out of her like laughter. I'm not that kind of tourist. My mom and me... Okay, that was horrible. I'm not some kind of tourist. My mom and me moved into this town. Tamarack gasped, her large eyes opening even wider. They were full of sparkles. Oh.
Me too. I'm new too. I moved to live with my Omi and Opa. They have a house here, and I'm going to be there now.
Oh. So, you're living with your grandparents?
Yep.
Huh. Oh, alright.
Yeah. I've been there 5 days, and it's really good. There's so much out there. It probably won't be finished for a long time. Months, maybe.
Well, this was my very first day in Golden Grove.
Wow, that's barely different at all. We're a match.
She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could as a new idea came to her.
Hey, I'm a girl and you're not, but we're both new. And what if we're the same age? I'm 10.
Huh? You're 10? So am I!
Hooray! Same age forever!
Happily, Tamarack held onto the one strap of her big bag, and it bounced up and down in place. Aw. You decided that this was the perfect time, I didn't see what that said. It's the perfect time to talk to her about what you were doing. Do you know what this is? You asked while pulling out the plane. She began to tear louder the moment she caught sight of the unusual colored paper.
You got it!
Oh my gosh, there's hearts. Oh my gosh, she is so cute. Tamarack, I love you. Look at you. You're amazing. I should name you like Isabel. You're amazing.
You got it?
Yes, I got it. It's right here.
Where
Yay! She flung her arms over her head in celebration, knocking her bag out to the side. It made a thump noise when it swung back against her.
My aim is good.
You blinked at her in disbelief. You'd done it. You found the mystery person who'd made that strange paper airplane message. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, so I'm thinking Andy might have a crush on her because she's adorable. I love this child. Me and her would have been best friends when I was 10, but instead I was moving and sad forever. Okay, she was so cute, you thought. Okay. Yeah, it is. Your throw was perfect.
Thanks. And yay for the trash doing something nice.
What is that supposed to mean? You thought you knew what disbelief was a second ago, but hearing that made you feel it in more ways than you had ever before. The stunned look on your face got Tamarack to add more.
The paper I used wasn't mine. It was litter in the woods. I picked it up and put it in my bag because I couldn't just leave it there on the ground. And then when I saw you standing in the road, I had just the idea. I could do something fun with the garbage by making a paper airplane for you.
Oh my gosh, I love her so much. So you didn't write anything on it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Well, that part makes sense, but this is still confusing.
Oh, okay.
That was all she said. Tamara couldn't tell you anything more. The person who wrote that strange message for you was still a mystery. You hadn't found them even after meeting the paper airplane person. You were thrilled the mystery had deepened. Oh my gosh, yes. This was so much more exciting than you had even thought. You started thinking more and more about this, making plans in your head. Tamarack could tell something was going on with you.
So, what did the paper say? Was it funny?
Do you think random stuff is funny? It was short, and all the parts were in different lines. The words were hello, go out, hide out, Andrew Peterson.
That's so weird. Who would write that?
I know, that's what I was thinking. It's strange. She took a big hop closer to you, a smile growing across her face as she landed.
You should keep going, and I'll come too. That paper isn't very old. It would have gotten wet or eaten by bugs if it was out there in the forest for a while. We could track them down and ask them what they were doing.
You can come. I was gonna ask that, actually.
Woohoo!
Tamarack snatched up a nearby stick off the ground and directed the pointy end forward, the way you had come from.
We're going to find the litterer who puts weird things on paper.
And so you started to walk along, and the brown fall brush again, now with your new partner in adventure. Oh my gosh, I said that so weird. Now with your new partner in adventure. Tamarack came along from behind you with eager, skipping steps. She was right. You're going to find that note writer person who knew your name. Alright, and we are going to save here. We're gonna leave it here, guys, because we've already met Tamarack, and now we have to go and meet Chu, or yeah, I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. I know Mandarin, but not that well. And I'll see you all again next time on Our Life Now and Forever.